go to the very core of salvation. They go to the very core of salvation. For them, if you believe what we believe, you're not saved. For us, if you believe what they believe, you're not saved. That's very big. That's very major. And when it comes to mainstream Christianity, do we worship the same God? No. When it comes to Trinitarian Christianity, my God doesn't hang on the cross. Allah did not come to this earth. Allah doesn't eat and drink and sleep and all these crazy things. You can't kill Allah. You may worship God, your concept of God. I worship Allah. Your God and my Allah are not the same thing. So we need to be aware of that. Don't overestimate them. Don't give them too much credit. Don't give them too much credit. Have you ever heard of a concept, any of you, called praise, correct, praise, called PCP in teaching? It's a teaching method. PCP. Praise, correct, praise. It means that I'm a martial artist by profession. That's what I used to do before this. I have quite a few black belts. And I used to run martial arts schools before I abandoned them to do this. Like if I have a student who is doing a stance, like a martial arts stance, rather than going into them and being like, man, that is horrible. You're like an idiot. You don't know what you're doing. Get out of my school. They're not coming back. You know, I wouldn't have very many students if I did that. You know, what I may do is I see, okay, that their knee is not bent correctly. I'll go and tell them, okay, your foot positioning is good. You know, really nice. I like that foot positioning. The only thing is I would like for you to turn your knee in a little bit more like this, maybe your hips a little more squared, centered. Okay, yeah, that's exactly how I want you to do it from now on. You see what I did? I praised them for something they were doing right, and then I corrected them for what was wrong, and then I praised them for correcting it. So it's kind of like the teaching sandwich. Praise, correct, praise. So you don't just blast people out. I mean, you don't press everybody. You know, even with Christianity, there are some things about Christianity which are praiseworthy. But the things you need to correct are this, and if you correct them, then you'll be praiseworthy again. So we give everything its right. Number 4, stay out of harm or disarm. Take the air out of the honest. Oh man, this one is the one that really is of utmost paramount importance. Stay out of harm or disarm. Take the air out of their argument and be honest. Now, when it comes to stay out of harm or disarm and take the air out of the argument, this takes some practice to learn how to take someone's argument and use it as a tool for your what you want to say. And that takes a little bit of, and I don't have, there's a what is the word I'm looking for? There's a practice regimen that I go through to do this, but we just don't have the time. Hopefully I will be able to do that sometime in the future. But when it comes to take the air out of the argument, I would say, take a look at some people like people who are really good at this, even though I'm not agreeing with all of the ways they do Dawah, but they do so much, it's amazing. Look at the way like Zakir Naik and Ahmadi, the way they would let people say what they had to say, and then use the very things coming out of their mouth against them, with vigor, with greatness, and with confidence. Like Zakir Naik, when somebody will be like, for instance, I want you to just answer one thing for me, and he has like 3 or 4 different arguments, and he's like, I just want to answer the one, and Zakir Naik will be like, no, just tell me all of them, and I'll answer all of them for you. Islam has the answer to everything. Go ahead, spit it out. You understand what I'm saying? Or this is what he means, you take it out of the argument. Or like when I saw Khalid Yassin one time, he had some pastors and he was talking about Christianity, and the pastor started to try to rebuttal him, stand up and blast him out. What did Khalid Yassin do? He called him on the stage. He's like, no, come here, sit at the microphone. And then made the man sit there while he just rambled with everything. And he said, this is what I mean. There's no playing around with it. You know what I mean? You want to put it out there? Let's go. We'll deal with it. Islam has the solution, has the truth, has the means. But that takes a little bit of experience. Now, being honest is the thing that I want to really put as a disclaimer. If you have a desire to get involved in Dawah, and that desire is to get up and apologize for Islam. If you want to get up and apologize for Islam, or you want to water down Islam, thinking that you're going to make the people swallow it easier, let me tell you that that field is, the positions are already all taken, and we're not accepting applications. That positions are taken and we're not accepting applications. Because there's too many people already doing that. There's too many people already apologizing for Islam. And there's too many people watering this religion down, thinking that they're going to sweeten up the pill so that people will take it. And they're doing a major injustice and disservice to the deen. We don't need to apologize for the truth. The truth needs no apologies. And to tell me that you're watering down or that you're softening up Islam so that people will take it. So in reality, what you're telling me is that the truth is not good enough. That you need to mix the truth with some lies, or you need to give people half of the truth in order for them to believe. So now you have taken the place of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the guide, right? You're going to make people believe, right? No, you're not going to make people believe. Your job is only to convey the message and tell the truth. And tell the truth. No apologies necessary. No apologies needed. No apologies needed. What do I mean by no apologies needed? Your religion says that men have to stay in the front and women stay in the back of the separation. Yes, we have no apologies for that. That's for our good. That's for their protection. That's because we protect their rights. We don't parade our women half naked on billboards and TV shows and use them as sex objects and like big pieces of meat to make men buy things. No, we don't do that with our women. We protect them and preserve them and give them their inalienable rights by God. I don't need to apologize for that. I don't need to apologize for that. Oh, in your religion, they cut off the hand of a thief. You're right. That's why nobody steals. That's why you go to a country that applies this law. There's no theft. You don't have to worry about somebody kicking in your door to steal your property. You don't have to worry about somebody robbing your shop and looting your store. You don't have to worry about these things. Because if people know they're going to lose a hand for that, you don't commit that mistake twice. You don't commit that mistake twice. I don't need to apologize for that. This is the law of the Creator. And He knows why He did it. He knows why He put it into practice. Oh, you stoned the adulterer. Yes, you're right, we do that. That's in the law of Allah. I don't need to apologize for that. That's why you go to these countries where these laws are applied, the family structure is very strong. Families are intact. Societies are being built. And they're firm and they're strong. And the parents have respect for the children. And the children have respect for the parents. And families are huge and conjoined. And this is the building block of proper societies. I mean, you come to a country where adultery is a thing that is okay. You can't have more than one wife now. Put you in jail. You have as many girlfriends as you want. And a wife, if you like. It's all good. What happens? There's no family structure. There's no solidarity between the family. And the whole bond of society is just coming apart. So I need to apologize for that? No, I don't need to apologize for that. And what I mean by be honest is if you're going to tell someone about Islam, speak the truth or just keep your mouth closed. If you don't want to say what needs to be said, it's better to just bow out gracefully and say, look, it's better if you go here, go there, than to tell a lie. It's impermissible to tell a lie in Islam. And normally when you tell the truth, Allah is on the side of truth. Let me tell you that right now. Allah is on the side of truth. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا يُصْلِحْ لَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. O you who believe, fear Allah and always speak the truth. For by doing so, Allah will guide you to righteous deeds and will forgive you your sins. Whosoever obey Allah and His last messenger has already achieved the greatest achievement. What do I mean by this? One example. I was at a conference once, and there was a lot of non-Muslims there. And it was Q&A time. And, the group was put on. There was a group that invited me, but when there was another group that realized they were inviting me, they invited another imam. They invited Imam Fulan. Because they already knew how I was going to deal with some things, so they wanted to bring Imam Fulan so that they could get him to deal with some things. You'll understand what I mean in a minute. Q&A time came, and the questions were supposed to be addressed to the speaker, as well as, what is your question? And the brother who was taking the questions was the student of Imam Fulan. And the question came, two questions came, one to me and one to Imam Fulan. The one to Imam Fulan was, what does Sheikh mean? Because that's how they introduced him, Sheikh Fulan. And the question that came to me was, what does jihad really mean? Because I mentioned in my talk that the jihad that is being purported on the TVs and news and media is not the jihad of Islam. I don't know whose jihad it is, but it's not ours. So I was asked, what does jihad really mean then? The guy taking the questions, switched them around, gave me the question of what does shaykh mean, and gave the question of what does jihad mean to Fulan. I'm like, I saw what he did, and I was like, shaykh means old man. And I mean, why are you asking me that question? I'm not a shaykh, nor am I an old man. And then the question came to Imam Fulan, what is jihad? He got up and, jihad is the struggle of the soul, and the jihad bin nafs, and he quoted the fabricated hadith of those who have left the lesser jihad, coming from Qital, and you have come back to the greater jihad, which is the jihad bin nafs. There are many scholars, including Shaykh al-Albani, who said this hadith is fabricated. That the jihad, the Qital is, only under certain circumstances, and we don't have those certain circumstances in existence anymore. So it's, the whole spiel is just, it's really annoying me. And so I finally, when he gets done saying his whole apologist answer, I had to stop and say, I'm sorry. I tried to be as compassionate as I could. Maybe, he didn't understand the question. Because I didn't want to blast him out, but he put himself there. Maybe he didn't understand the question, or maybe there's information, that Sheikh Fulan is unaware of. I said, but because the person who asked the question already knew the answer. Because when I saw Fulan answering, I saw the guy who wrote the question shaking his head. He knew he was lying. He knew he was straight lying out of his teeth. And he was shaking his head, disappointment. So I said, no, wait. What jihad really means. And there's no apologies for this. Jihad means, and it is understood according to the Quran and the Sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, fighting physically to establish the word of the Creator as the dominant word on earth, to establish the law of the Creator as the dominant law on earth, to establish justice on the earth for every single human being, to fight oppression, to fight terrorism, to fight aggression, to fight injustice, to fight poverty, to fight homelessness, to fight dictatorship and tyranny. This is jihad. This is jihad. To free the world from oppression and tyranny and terrorism. To free the world from people who are trying to kill innocents and raid countries and exploit people for their wealth and their resources. This is jihad. To establish justice on the world for everybody, equality amongst human beings, the rights of every citizen under the law, to establish the rights of the poor and the needy and the helpless. This is jihad, and jihad is to establish this, and to struggle to establish this, and to fight to establish this, and to fight to make this the supreme way of life on earth. That's jihad. And anything other than this is not jihad. Is not jihad. It is not jihad fi sabilillah, it is jihad fi nafs. You're fighting with your own self. You are fighting to establish what you love. That's it. If I go into a shopping mall and kill innocent people with no right, that is not jihad. This is war against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger. To take over a country and ruin it and put it into exploitation and strip people of their rights and their means, this is not jihad. This is oppression. And for someone to fight against that, that would be jihad. Everyone clapped. The guy was happy, everyone clapped. I said, because this is the real meaning of jihad. So when you see on the TV, they're defining jihad as a holy war, a war on terrorism and all this, they're oxymoron. Jihad does not fit in the same definition of terrorism. Jihad does not fit in the same definition of all of these things. And to say you're having a war on terrorism, that's really an oxymoron, because war is terrorism. When you're going and killing innocent people, and it's okay to kill this innocent people and all these innocent people, and it's okay to take them and blow up their city and this city, that's terrorism. That's reality, that's terrorism. To say that, and to even use the word Islamic